Okay, let's have a heart-to-heart conversation about my architecture school project so far while I exfoliate my face with Eskinol with a cotton ball. Yeah. Okay, just to give a quick little rundown on my school concept. So our site is basically in Oakland, and before I did that site visit, I was just doing random sketches on my sketchbook, and I made this sketch, and I was like, it's basically where you make a rectangle, or in this case it looks like a square, but I basically just cut it out and made two L shapes based on that. And the more I developed it, I was thinking of just circulation, where the entrances would be. These are just random sketches of just buildings. Oh, and this whole page is literally notes I took during our architecture review, which is basically where two critiquers or reviewers come over who are basically architects and state what is up with the building, what are good stuff about it, and what to keep in mind, what's bad about the site. I'll go over this later after I discuss what my floor plan looks like. Alright. So for my previous video, I know I talked about the site a little bit, but basically just to run you guys through on my thoughts of the site. So near this Telegraph Avenue, I took a lot of pictures, so I'll post probably a few of them if I want to keep on downloading images and then pasting it. Okay, whatever. So over here near Telegraph Avenue is the most busy side of the street, which is where it's the most loud. So, oh yeah, and to discuss about the other side, near the park and the residential areas, these are where the apartments are. This is where the most quiet side of the site is. So I actually made a diagram. I'll find it real quick. To explain this diagram, I basically labeled all of the rooms between this is architecture and this is the art building. So I labeled all of them by numbers, and then the way I organized it is I made 4 circles, and each of them had a distinction between northern or southern light and public versus private. So for example, let's say you wanted to know where or what lecture auditorium would stand or be labeled as. So you look at number 5. Where did I put number 5? Okay, so I made it as completely private and no sunlight. Oh my gosh, my voice is dying. Okay, so yeah, I'll discuss how I organize my floor plan after that. God, I feel sick. Okay, so there's 4 rooms over here that I wanted it to be public and also use northern sunlight instead of southern sunlight. Oh, for those who aren't familiar between sunlight orientation, northern sunlight is where you get even white lighting, whereas southern sunlight is where you get the most direct light. So I labeled a bunch of them and placed it according to whether it's going to be public or private and what northern and southern. Alright, that explains the diagram and how I just organize the space. Now time for the good parts, the floor plans. After many, and by many I mean how many? 5 drafts probably. And this is my final one. I'll show the old ones in a bit, but I'll just describe my first floor plan at the moment. So here is the L shape I'm still working with. So you enter here. This is where the entrances will be at. So you can enter through the lobby and all the other lobby here. The circulation is pretty straightforward. And yeah, going on to second floor. These floor plans aren't as detailed as they're supposed to be because these are just drafts. The finalized ones will show all the windows, the thickness of the walls. You get the idea. Okay, second floor goes right on top. Damn, I should have brought my model home so I could take a video of it, but I did take some pictures. So, we have this bridge connecting both the buildings on the second floor. And yeah, what's written in red is basically the art program, and then blue is what is in the architecture program. And yeah, now we go on to the third floor. What's highlighted in yellow is basically circulation, where people can walk around getting to some place. And this is the third floor. So, man, I'm tired. It's so late. Oh wait. Yeah, that's the third floor. Man, my brain is fried. But yeah, these floor plans are what I showed to the reviewers during the actual review. Yeah, okay. I forgot to show the reviewers my elevation drawings, but this is what it looks like. It's not the best drawing because I was just doing this as like a last minute thing, but yeah, sick. I know the school isn't gonna look like this. It's gonna look a lot more better, but this is just playing around with the forms. Alright. Alright. It actually helped for me to approximate each of the rooms' sizes and then like make sure it is according to size with the floor plan. Alright. Now here's one of my first drafts. You can see it's like pretty much really different. The circulation was really, really bad. I asked for feedback from my professor and he told me to keep it more clear, more clean in circulation. Oh yeah, I remember he stated that this over here would be like an alleyway, so I made sure to widen that up a bit on one of the more recent floor plans. Yeah, these are just rough drafts. I was thinking I was gonna have like a double height lobby ceiling, but I changed that. It's work in progress, obviously. Now just to look through the floor plans again. For any architecture students working on floor plans of like big spaces such as schools or museums, one little lesson I've learned from my professor is the less circulation you have, the better it is, so that you can maximize the room space. Yeah. Alright. Let's see. I'm so tired. Sorry. What else I was gonna show? Oh yeah, another drafts, but these are just other little drafts I've been working on. There's so much. I'm not gonna bother going through it because I've just been doing it a lot. Some other sketches. Yeah, that's basically what I've been working on up to this point. Yeah. I've been the past 2-3 weeks. Oh yeah, just 2 weeks or 1 week. I've been working on floor plans, and I'll post some pictures here. And what was I gonna say? There was just something about circulation that I could not figure out. I kept on asking people for pointers on circulation, what it should look like, what, like, oh yeah. So I did, like, okay, what am I saying? It's late, okay, it's late. So, I did at least 3 floor plans for each level of a school that I'm working with, and every time I showed it to my professor, there was something like off about it that I needed to work on. So I kept on redoing it. I redid it at least like 4 times, I believe. There was this one thing that clicked with me. So the professor told me to the less circulation you have in your program or in your school, the better it is, so that you can maximize all of the program rooms. And so I just used that idea to guide my circulation. Oh yeah, for those of you who don't know what circulation is, it's basically just like hallways leading up to a certain room. And so just last night I worked on it, or actually, yeah, I spent the whole day yesterday and also night just working on a better floor plan. I worked in the library, read some books, and gained inspiration. And I was like, bam, I got the circulation down. It was basically, it's better to just show it, but it was like very generous in circulation, 16 feet wide. And yeah, I think the people that reviewed the project today, or basically there was this architecture review of our models and our progress so far, our floor plans, and the 2 reviewers stated that the circulation is pretty good. Even my professor told me it was pretty good. Just the few things I had to keep in mind was how the surrounding buildings of my school will probably block the southern sunlight, so the second floor or the art building of my school program will probably not get as much southern sunlight as I thought it would. But there's this other reviewer that commended my L-shape concept, but when I was first presenting it, he like interrupted me. It was like, why the L shape? I was like, and then I stated that it's the most I thought it was like the most strategic shape to have an outdoor space right in the center, and also have like outdoor space leading up to the lobby. And yeah, and then he was like, oh, that's a good idea. And I also showed everyone, or my professor and the reviewers during my presentation, about the diagram I made of just organizing all of the spaces, which rooms should have northern or southern light, which ones are public or private. And yeah, they like that, I think. To be honest, I feel like I was I felt frisky while I was presenting. I'm usually not, like, open. I'm just venting. I feel like my voice was like, oh. Still exfoliating. If I showed you what this cotton ball looks like currently, you would be disgusted. Should I show you guys? That's why you should exfoliate your skin often. It looks like all the dirt and grime in there. What else? Okay, I'm gonna make sure to like include some photos of my progress of the school currently. I spent at least 4 hours making my last or the most recent chipboard model I was making. And yeah, I was presenting with my partner, and one of the reviewers was like, both of your ideas look similar. I don't know if he was like looking at my partner's old floor plans, or I don't know, but he said it was similar. I feel tired. I spent the whole day yesterday, legit, just architecture. Oh yeah, let me talk about my political science class. So we're basically, we don't have homework for that class, but the only thing that's required of us is to read this book called Analyzing Politics, which I did not buy because I don't want to spend $90 on that book, and I basically just found a PDF copy of it. And so I haven't been reading it because I don't know, when I'm scrolling through the PDF, it just gets annoying, and it's just so much. I know I should be like working on it or reading for that class, but I'm just like, it's not even applicable to my major. To be honest, I focus so much on architecture that for other classes, I give like less effort, to be honest. But yeah, I exfoliate my hands too, honestly. Why not? Anyways. Oh yeah, what I was talking about was, I think, yesterday. Oh yeah, so yesterday, for my political science class, my professor asked the class to raise our hands if we read the book, and literally no one except 3 people raised their hands, and she was so passive aggressive about it. She was like, okay, the rest of you guys should get out, because only 3 of these people can contribute to the class discussion while everyone else is just silent. I don't know, it was just okay. I'm going on tangents. It's a weird video. Yeah, I'm gonna take one long healthy sleep, because architecture just takes up all that sleeping hours, because I spent until midnight yesterday night just working on floor plans and the model, and I don't regret it. It feels nice to actually stay up. Well, not okay, to like reward it. I feel like it's like a lot more better to be staying up working on architecture assignments than to be staying up for doing like studying or doing like, I don't know, just other classwork that's not creative. Love architecture, man. Studio culture it's lit. I'm really cringe. I tell this to myself all the time, but yeah.